Good morning, natural gas. It's Friday, June the 19th, 2026. I'm Tim Beggins, president of Elk Trading Company. And for the spot July contract, we're down just 1 penny right now at 322.30 or 0.34%. And as you can see, we tested on the low side the 13 and 48 period exponential moving averages. That's right, our low today, 318.30. The RSI is turning sideways. So today is a federal holiday, but natural gas is open right now. Let's take a look at the hourly chart. And as you can see right here, we are holding above the daily pivot, which came in at 320 and 1 tick. The RSI is trying to turn higher. So the market this morning trying to move up toward first resistance at 327.80, but we're lacking any real bullish catalyst to do so. Let's take a look at what happened for storage yesterday. It was plus 73, exactly the 5-year average, but that's still bullish against last year's plus 97. So we're currently right now sitting over 2.7 TCF in the ground. That's good news, but we're still about 1% below last year, but we're 5.8% above the 5-year average. Let's take a look at the power markets here, and this is ERCOT. And let's see here, we've got some good renewables today, but less than yesterday. We're only sitting around 28,000 megawatts today. Why? Because wind is down. And yet our forecast load today is also lower, 77,500. But that means that natural gas is picking up about 50% of the fuel mix right now because of that low wind situation. And also because we got South Texas Unit 2 offline. We don't know what's going on there, but it probably be offline for at least a few days. Let's see what we get some news on that. We'll share next week. Let's take a look at the LNG markets here. This is JKM. This is for the August contract. And as you can see right now, it's barely down right here. This is in Japanese yen. The RSI is very, very low, but not yet in oversold condition. So is the Iran war over? Maybe. Is LNG global markets going to be balanced anytime soon? Nope. Let's take a look at TTF, which today is actually up because it's up 4% here. This again is in euros per megawatt hour, so a little bit of a different scale here, but as you can see right now, it is turning up. And this may be the same case for JKM next week because we don't have Qatar up and fully running for at least months, if not years. So that's for train 4 and for train 6. So we'll keep a careful eye on this, but Europe is still low in storage. Let's take a look at the temperature outlook in the US. This is the 8 to 14-day temperature outlook. And as you can see, it's an endless spring for Chicago all the way down to St. Louis. It's looking near normal temperatures, above normal just out in Texas, out in Big Bend here, and of course, Florida at this time. So it is fairly mild as we jump into the July 4th weekend. And here is the temperature outlook for the United States using the European model here, which is a little bit cooler than the GFS. And as you can see, we start seeing some hundreds out in the desert Southwest, the interior central valleys of California. We start seeing 90s across Dallas here all the way up into 101 for a couple days here as we get into July. That triple digits is going to send power prices soaring here across the South. As you can see, let's get all the way to the end of the forecast period here and stop it. There's July 4th morning right now. And as you can see, triple digits Central Valley, triple digits out in Arizona, hundreds out here in Abilene, Texas, 96 in Midland, but only 86 in the morning as we start up for Dallas. So looks like the interior west, that western third of the country is going to be very, very hot going into July the 4th. And let's take a look at the heat index. And as you can see right now, we start having 1.2 million people under extreme heat risk today, mainly in Florida, but across the South as well in Texas, Louisiana, because of that storm system. Tropical Storm Arthur left a lot of rain in this particular area. Now as temperatures start to rise, humidity is rising, feels like a steam bath. And so let's take a look as we go through. It starts to ease up a little bit, but as you can see here, More people have then become in major heat risk here out in West Texas, Oklahoma, and then on Monday starts to pick up everybody from Texas all the way up into North Carolina here on Monday. Tuesday eases up a little bit, but we start seeing some more extreme heat risk here in Florida. And then, of course, now same thing for Wednesday. Now start seeing interior west start to really warm up. Same thing going into Tuesday. So looks like, yes, endless spring in Chicago, but interior west all the way over to Florida into the Carolinas, starting to get hot and steamy. Let's take a look at Europe here. Yes, this is WX charts here finally coming out of an upgrade. And as you can see, stays fairly warm from the Iberian Peninsula all the way back up into Poland here. But that warmer temperature starts to push off to the east as we get closer and closer to July here. We start seeing that heat start to fade away from France, pushes over into Germany, out into Poland, and then starts staying mainly in the southern tier of Europe, Spain, Italy, Greece, Turkey, but that's going into July the 3rd. And here is storage in the EU right now, 45.6% full. As you can see, this is fairly normal for the EU as a whole, but we do have our problem players here. Great Britain still minimal levels. These are new lows for Great Britain. Injections are averaging normal, but they've got a long way to go. Same thing here for the Netherlands. Take a look. They're at new minimal lows here. Right now, only 22.6% full. And as you can see, injections are near normal there for historical averages. Belgium, same thing, but it's approaching near new minimal lows. So we've got a good news across the EU that it at least is at 46 or 45.5% full, but they've got some players that are really going to be crunched here as they get into the fall. And here is Asia, same thing for the European model here. For China here is staying fairly warm. You can see over in India, very, very warm here. And then, of course, Japan is staying fairly modest over here for the next few days, but then starts to warm up as we get late in the forecast period. We start seeing some warmer temperatures show up in eastern China around the 29th here. This pushes into the Koreas and Japan, but as you can see right now, it is okay. It's just average. And here is LNG. Let's take a look at the two big lakes here for US LNG. That's Sabine Lake and Calcasieu Lake. I want to point something out here. This is where Sabine Pass is, Golden Pass is here, then Port Arthur will be up here. This Sabine Lake, these channels here are the only passable passageways through this area. Sabine Lake and Calcasieu Lake only average 6 feet in depth. That's right, you cannot put a boat through these lakes here. You've got to go through the channels. This is Calcasieu Pass here, and across the way will be Commonwealth. As we come all the way up the passageway, there's Cameron LNG right now. And then further north, up here is going to be Driftwood. The Trunkline LNG facility is all the way up here, but that is yet to be turned around. Let's take a look at Cameron. That's running about 1.443 here at a 1.56 BCF of capacity. That's running about 92.5%. Again, with it hot and humid along the U.S. Gulf Coast, these LNG facilities cannot run at 100%. And I'm talking about the big box LNG facilities. The modular ones can run over nameplate, especially all the way over there in Plaquemines. That's doing very, very well. But the big box ones, they will struggle to get 100% here in this heat and humid temperatures. As you can see here for Freeport here running about 1.8 BCF. That's okay. Here is Creole Trail feeding Sabine Pass, one of the pipelines that's feeding Sabine Pass. And again, it's doing very well here. And also here is Corpus Christi doing very well as well. Let's take a look here at Venture Global. Well, they've still got some capacity open here at Calcasieu Pass, but over here at Plaquemines, still running over nameplate capacity. Golden Pass is stabilizing over 400,000, so about 50% of total nameplate capacity for train one, which is 800 to 850,000 MMBTU. So Hopefully, they're starting to make some LNG. We'll keep a careful eye on the boats to see which one loads up and where. Right now, the ARB says Asia. Let's take a look at the U.S. nuclear fleet. And today is a U.S. government holiday, so equity markets are closed as well as government offices. So we really don't know where the outages stand today, but let's see. We still got that South Texas Unit 2 that is down, and we're still waiting for news on the return for Palisades nuclear plant for data center usage up in Michigan. And let's recapping the oil and gas stocks for the week here. And these are stocks between $2 and $10 billion, have a high short float over 10%. As you can see, it's been mainly in the red. Only CNX, Ohio, Utica, Marcellus producer has been positive for the week here at plus 1.74. Behind me, Magnolia down 3%. So recapping again for the spot July contract, we're currently trading at 321.20, down 2.1 cents or 0.65%. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon.